Patrick, back with you here, Main Street Money Show podcast, and we're talking about student loans. So, student loans is kind of the end result of not having cash, or one generation deciding they're not going to pay for the next generation's college. And there's nothing wrong with that. Like, this is a personal decision. If you're listening to this episode as a parent, this is a personal decision. Do you want to fund your kids' college and let them come out debt free while you are underfunding or not funding at all your retirement? You're not going to be able to finance your retirement, but you can finance your kids' college. And so that's one way to think about it. But it's not always about the financial decision. Some parents just truly want their kids to live the better life and come out debt free, and there's nothing wrong with that. But let's talk about college planning real quick, and then we'll talk about student loans real quick. And so this is probably a conversation that's been going on for like 30 years now. College is out of control expensive. The government is, in essence, subsidizing it through student loans. So if you're going to take out the student loans, let's see if we can minimize how much loan we're actually taking out. So making sure we're having the conversation about workforce expectations, salary expectations. Are there ways to reduce the total out-of-pocket expense, either through scholarships or grants, savings or cash flows, and then figuring out, okay, maybe student loan is an option. But how do we plan for it? You can prepay tuition. You can do college 529 plans. There's different, tax strategies for basically each of these. I have my opinion on 529 plans. I'm personally not the biggest fan of them. However, if somebody wants to do them, I say go and let's figure out the best state for the 529 plan, and then figure out, okay, do you want to do it yourself, or do you want to have your financial advisor to do it? I'm of the opinion, even though I'm a financial advisor and I could get paid on this, it's probably better off if you just manage that 529 plan yourself. These are very basic investments inside of them. If you decide you don't want to do the 529 plan for the restrictions that come with either the funding of it or the taking the money out if they don't go to college, then let's figure out the alternative. Maybe the alternative is just putting it into a taxable brokerage account or some other type of real estate property. I'm a big fan of that. There's a lot of individuals out there that are pushing life insurance as an asset class specifically for funding of college. I'm not going to say it's the worst thing in the world, but it's definitely not the best thing in the world. Is it risk-free? In essence, there's not going to be a lot of growth with it. However, you're not going to lose a lot of money. Maybe for individuals that are very high-income earners, you're earning a couple $100,000. But between 529 plans, brokerage accounts, life insurance as an asset class for that specific funding of the student loans or funding of the college expenses, and then the alternative of real estate. Me personally, if I was going to rank them, I would rank them, and this is my opinion, I'm not telling you to do this, but taxable brokerage account, because you have unlimited flexibility. Yeah, you're going to pay taxes on it annually if you were to sell and that kind of thing. But ultimately, you have real estate properties. I'm a big fan of real estate as a wealth building tool, not just for retirement, but also for funding, maybe a little bit shorter term goals such as college. These are your options, and it's not all inclusive, but these are the big ones. And this is a conversation I have actually pretty frequently. A lot of my friends and family are in that saving for college phase. So if you want to have a conversation about it, about a little bit more in depth, then feel free to reach out. But ultimately, let's move on to the fact that you've already graduated, or your kids already graduated. What do you need to do to help them, really put them in a good position financially? Well, let's just say you paid for their college. Great. They're in a much better position than someone that did not have that opportunity. So let's make sure, let's continue to compound those good decisions and make sure that they don't go out and blow their first salary on $80,000 car. Let's hold off on having them buy a house yet. Let's figure out, are they coming out of college with student loans? If so, what kind of payment plan are they on? Are they on an income-driven repayment plan? Are they on a standard repayment plan? And there's multiple payment plans out there, but ultimately we have to figure out, where are they individually? And so if you're a parent and you're listening to this podcast, there are a lot of resources out there. There are consultants out there that do student loan planning, both pre-college and also post-college. You might pay them $500, $1,000, but they're going to show you how to save hundreds of thousands of dollars on interest. If we're talking about veterinarians, doctors, the folks that are coming out of school with maybe hundreds of thousands of dollars of student loans. Now, if you're talking $30,000, $50,000 for 4 years of college education, that's not that bad. You may not need a consultant to come in and show you how to reduce your total interest, but ultimately we got to figure out is there a lot of student loan interest on the table? Let's figure out how to wipe that off in a tax efficient manner, but also let's make sure that you as the parent are guiding your child and saying, hey, these are options. And I've got a wide range of folks that are listening to this podcast. Maybe you're post-graduating and you're like, oh, what do I need to do financially? Well, let's get you liquid money as fast as possible, meaning funds in the bank so that you might have the potential to put down on a house. And then if you listen to the previous episode, we talked about house hacking, building your emergency fund, your opportunity fund. Even graduating and traveling abroad is not like it's the worst financial decision in the world because of the currency exchange. Let's just say you don't know what to do. You graduated with a 4-year degree, but you want to go, spend a couple months figuring out what your options are. There is a lot of opportunity to save and even make a lot of money remotely in another country because you got that currency exchange there. That's it for this episode. Really, the point of this episode is planning for college. There's a lot of options out there. There's a lot of different, I would say, propaganda pushing you to the traditional methods of 529s. But just know this, there are a lot of things outside of 529 plans that you can do. And then if you are graduating with student loans, let's figure out how to get those student loans paid off in an efficient manner. Feel free to reach out. There's a lot of resources that I put together for you. But that's it for this episode, and I'll see you in the next one.